Some people tell me that I curse too much. Right?
Go in.
Let me see. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And my reasoning for that response is because for every soul that claims that my words are too harsh, there's another that states that they're not nearly harsh enough. And I have finally established that in the eyes of the masses, I am either as accessible as Will Smith or as crude as Loaded Lux. And there is absolutely, positively no room for an in-between.
My name is Prim-One. Thank you for checking me out here at Chasers. I'm a local event host, promoter, poet, rapper, singer, etc. I'm repping Kansas City.
Cool. So what's going on with you and the idea of a real job? Like, where do you stand with that concept as being an artist and then being a person? I personally know that you have a quote-unquote real job. So what are your thoughts on that concept, and why, since I already know, why are you straying from that idea?
Well, what really makes me stray from that idea is the emphasis on time. You know, we can always find a way to make more income. We can always find a way to get our time back. You can never have it back. You know, and I was spending 50 hours a week doing something that really wasn't my passion. You know, and they say if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. You got to put your energy in what you really are passionate about. And I feel like if you do that, it makes the ultimate outcome that much better, you know, for yourself and for anyone involved in what you do.
The word I've been throwing out is the audacity. The audacity to think that I, Prim-One, can be Prim-One. I, Keith, can be Prim-One. You know, what gives you the audacity to think that you can weigh out those risks with your within yourself, and also within that, when did you realize that that was something that's possible for you?
When I realized it, man, you know, I mean, honest to God, I've known it for a couple years now, but what really made me pursue it is the fact that, you know, I'm taking different turns in your life personally, finding new freedom within yourself, and realizing, man, that you have the capability to do these things. You now have the network to do these things. You have people supporting what you do in different ways, you know. So what really made me take the leap out there and do it was just the fact that I finally looked around and realized what I had around me, you know. It's not just a solo venture to do something like that. You know, to chase a dream, you can't just run on your own. Sooner or later, you got to have somebody running with you. You know, that's what I kind of feel. I feel like, especially if you're representing a city like Kansas City, you know, a place that really has such a strong background in music, but the world's not seeing it these days. It's really up to us to make that difference. And if we're going to do that, we got to do it in a way that is suitable for everybody who's really trying. And that's what really made me jump out and do it, was the fact that I'm looking at the people around me and they got that same gleam in their eye that I have, you know. So it's something that we're all doing collectively, so I feel like I owe it to the craft, I owe it to the people around me to be that much more involved and to not put my time, my energy into something that's tearing away from what I'm trying to build and what we're building together. You know, so that's kind of what really sparked it.
What are some of the biggest obstacles that you've encountered or foresee encountering pursuing, you know, this life of Prim-One, doing all these various things out here?
Obstacles, man, I mean, I don't really see a lot of, I've overcome so many on my way to this, you know, as far as the things that you want to overcome, such as, you know, finding your voice, finding your style, finding your presence. As far as obstacles that I could foresee, I'd probably say, you know, just, you know, dealing with people who aren't 100% in there. If you're dealing with somebody who's 75-25, what happens is you mix signals and it wastes the time of the people who are really putting that energy in. You know, I'm going to work with people who are all about this the way I am. That doesn't mean they can't have a day gig. That doesn't mean they can't have a personal life. That doesn't mean they can't do what they do. But when it comes down to doing it, they have to be focused, man. And that's what really, again, brought me back to that point of I need to get into this full time, because I'm losing my edge on what I love to sacrifice my time for something that's just paying some bills. You know, and when you realize that you have the capability to handle that yourself, I mean, it strikes a new chord in you. So my point here is, the only obstacle I can foresee is spending energy on people who weren't spending that same energy with me.
What's the vision for Prim-One as an artist? What's Prim-One about? Is it bigger than poetry and local shows, or?
Oh man, you know what's crazy from a technical standpoint? I don't really think too much is bigger than local Kansas City shows, man. But as far as the ultimate vision and what I want, what I'm pursuing love in a different way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with us as artists, we get into what we do 9 times out of 10 because there was something missing. You know what I'm saying? the people in our lives were shallow, the people in our lives, didn't have a certain essence that we tried to convey. And we tried to let that out through our art, you know what I'm saying? We try to spread that message, whatever that message may be. It's an ugly world out here, man. Without art, what are we doing? How are we making it any better? I feel like it's therapeutic for not just the artists themselves, but the people who really get the message. So if we make that a point to make that our purpose, dude, there's really not too much you can't do. Revolution is art. It's just that real. There's no bigger part of revolution, in my opinion. So if you really make that your priority, then not just always say something. Sometimes it's about saying something clever, something fun, something that's energetic, something with some heart that makes people feel and inspires the next man. So it doesn't always have to be conscious. It just has to be real. You know what I'm saying?
I think being in tune with the craft is what can give you the audacity. Understanding the power of the craft.
Yeah, man.
And
it's like, man, it's like, honestly, man, there's nothing all that prideful about pursuing passion, man. It really is not a pride thing. You pursue passion for many reasons more than yourself, The ultimate reason is different for everyone, but for me, man, it's to make a difference in the town I'm from. It's to make sure other people who grow up where I'm from realize that this is possible. They don't have to wait for doors to be open for them. They could bust whatever door open they need to. They could build an entirely new construct. They could do whatever they want. It's an open sandbox as long as you think that way. And that's what I want to do for Kansas City. That's my ultimate purpose through poetry, through music, through event promotion, through everything that I'm doing. I'm working on so many different projects, man. I run a weekly open mic, Lyric Lab Tuesday. Shameless plug, 3611 Broadway, 9 p.m. Check it out. I host a monthly show up there every last Saturday, Sound Pit Saturday. Starts at 10 p.m. I'm working on putting a festival together, the Midwest Word Fest. I'm working on putting a few different things together, and these are all ideas that I just kind of just throw on my back, and I say, okay, I'm going to ride through this with people who get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to spend energy and time working with people who don't believe in it. You gotta, if you're going to do anything, you have to make sure your camp has a strong faith structure in what's happening. If that's not what's going on, that's the problem out the gate. Revamp the plan. And I know that's kind of, off topic a little bit, but it's that real to me, man. The whole idea of chasing a dream, you can't chase a dream if somebody's pulling your arm telling you to go backwards. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shake loose.
What are your thoughts on the concept of being the starving artist, or the artist that's trying to establish or trying to do these things, versus being the business person?
Man, me as an artist, my personal philosophy as a person, as an artist, as a human, you can never starve when you're feeding your soul. You know what I'm saying? Honest to God, you can't, dude. There's nothing that people can do. The physical world can have whatever effect it wants to have on you. But that's just me as an artist. On a business level, I look at things like this. Even on a business level, there's some soul there for me, because I feel like humanity is business. You know what I'm saying? Humanity is business. Let me clarify on that. If I'm a businessman and I conduct myself as a businessman in public, right? I take it very seriously. I move through people the way I feel that I want to conduct myself the way I feel that people would want to be treated. But in regards to that, that's humanity. If I really give, can I say what I feel candidly? If I really give a fuck, it's an important part of the business structure at that point. Because I'm looking at these people, they want to have a good time. How do I give them a good time? How do I make sure they come back? When I do a show, that's the thought process. So if you're thinking in that fashion and there's no malicious intent in what you're doing, business doesn't have to be cold and callous. Business can be real. And that's what people forget, man. It doesn't mean you're mixing business and pleasure. It means there's pleasure to be found through the business you conduct.
American Pie, global influence, or universal connectivity? Mm-hmm. Which one of those jumps out to you, or do you strikes a chord? You want to speak on it in some way?
I'll tell you, the American Pie concept, scratch that. That's ridiculous to me. As far as global influence, you can't have that without universal connectivity, in my opinion. Well, you can, but does it mean anything? You know? That's kind of the thing. Without that third one, the second one means nothing. You know? You can have influence, but when that's gone, it's gone. If you have a universal connectivity with people, that's eternal. You know what I'm saying? People will talk about that long after your business is done. Long after you've moved on, man. You know? I mean, it's like this, man. I have a line in a poem. I'm just going to say this line real quick. It's like, I want to leave people stuck on these words like adhesive long after I'm gone, long after I am done, long after I am dust, long after I am ashes in the wind, recycled back into the oxygen that you breathe in. I want to know that I'll be literally and metaphorically entrapped in your lungs. And the reasoning for that line is exactly what I'm talking about. It's a powerful feeling to know that you touched someone's soul. You know what I'm saying? It's a powerful feeling to know that a person's going to think 10 years from now, 20 years from now, man, I remember I saw this dude, and man, he had something real to say. Even if they don't look at you from a technical perspective and say, this is one of my favorites, you know, it's not about that. It's not about the influence per se. It's about the effect. And that's really what I try to push. Anything, especially in my city, Kansas City, man, especially when I'm here, my thought process is, let me make sure this city understands how special it is. Because if we don't see it, the rest of the world can't see it, you know? So that's where I stand on that, man. The connectivity is vital for any influence I'm trying to have. Ultimately, the point for me, man, is if you're going to chase your own dream, help someone else chase theirs in the process. Because if you're not helping anyone else, they won't help you get to where you're trying to get. Not only that, who are you chasing it for? You know, when you're gone, what's it going to mean? That's the point, man. Making a difference. Lineage. Keeping it going. You know, if you don't keep it going, there's no point in starting. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Prim-One. Thank you for being here at Chasers. I'm in the local... See. Alright, let me get it. My name is Prim-One. Thank you for checking me out here at Chasers. I'm a local event host, promoter, poet, rapper, singer, etc. I'm repping Kansas City.
You curse too much, or you curse too much, or you curse too much, or that you curse too much. The proper response that you all should go with is fuck 'em.